Great. Again, welcome everyone, and thank you for taking time to get together today, and especially away from the important work that you're all doing. A couple of ground rules. You may have noticed a camera, and the purpose of which is twofold. One, we want to spend this time tentatively listening, not sort of like scrambling and taking notes, regardless of the quality of our notebook. And there are people who would love to be here but aren't, and so this gives them an opportunity to also hear directly from you. The second reason and why there's a waiver in front of you is because we're doing a lot of these, as Steve just mentioned, and when it's all said and done, what we're going to produce is not simply sort of a report of what the community told us or what we think that they said, but we want to have the voices of the people that we met with directly represented. And so in each of these sessions, we're either audio recording or videotaping them in the hopes that it gives us an opportunity to sort of share some of the insights and voices that we heard in these talks. If you have any issues or you don't want to be on tape, that's completely cool. If there's something you say and you prefer that comment would not be sort of said, you can either do it in advance or after the fact and write it on your little form. And then also as a courtesy, we will be, if you are in the materials, we'll share them and say like, hey, is this a good representation and things like that. What you can't say is I don't like the lighting or things along those lines. So we'll be keeping retouching to a minimum. With that said, as Steve mentioned, this is all about sort of listening and hearing from you, so I'm going to jump into the questions in a second. What I did want to note is that we recognize and respect that you are all subject matter experts, specifically in the fields in which you work, and we definitely want to hear the facts and the figures about the issues that you deal with. But we also want to hear the stories of the people who you represent and serve, and to also serve as their voice. And we are meeting with community members, and we are also doing a massive survey of the entire community to get quantitative information. But we want to hear some of the stories that best represent some of the needs and issues that people in Santa Barbara face. The second thing, and this may be more challenging, is that, again, we know that you have a specific issue that you may be dealing with, and we definitely want to hear that. But we also want to hear what you think about the other things that maybe you don't address, so we can get a sort of a full picture of the community. So with that said, I'm going to start just by asking everyone to go around the room and introduce themselves, who you are, the organization that you work with, just a little bit about that organization, how long you've been in Santa Barbara, and then what does a healthy community look like? So we'll start here, we'll take a break, and the people at the end of the table who are with Cottage Health and my colleagues will introduce themselves, and then we'll boomerang and get back up. So, sound good?